Hi.
جيترو.
عليكم السلام Auntie Aisha. What?
She still can't say it.
Assalamu alaikum, Aisha.
There you go.
Oh, that's exactly what I just said.
Ours was the only non-arranged marriage in his entire family, and the only divorce.
Hi everyone, it's Sailesh Ram, AsianCultureVulture.com. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have your company. We're going to be talking about the rom-com film, What's Love Got to Do With It? Comes out in the UK very shortly. It's written by Jemima Khan. Yes, that Jemima Khan, who was married to Imran Khan, and it's directed by Shekhar Kapoor. Yes, Shekhar Kapoor, who did Elizabeth. So let's find out more.
Thinking with your lulu, you need to be thinking with your nunu, okay?
And with the fantastic Jemima Khan, who wrote What's Love Got to Do With It? Jemima, welcome to AsianCultureVulture.com. How are you doing?
Thank you. Very nice to be here. Nice to meet you.
So tell us, what was the inspiration for you to write this film?
Well, I lived in Pakistan for 10 years, from 20 to 30. And so obviously it's kind of inspired by that time, even though it's not a biopic. And I mean, the particular subject matter was interesting to me because my ex-husband's family was quite conservative. Ours was the only non-arranged marriage in his entire family, and the only divorce. But I lived in a joint family household. So I lived with his sisters, their husbands, their children, his father. I think there was like 20 of us who all lived in one house by the time I had 2 children. And so I saw those arranged marriages up close. I saw the long-term ones and I saw new ones that were happening. I kind of got involved. I was on the committee.
Committee, so it was like a committee.
I mean, not literally, but I was on the informal committee. And so I had gone to Pakistan with some very particular, probably quite average preconceptions about what arranged marriage is, and about the idea that it's kind of this sort of outdated tradition.
Yes.
And
a lot of my friends would
don't understand the idea of it. And having been there and seen some very happy, successful arranged marriages, both the old-fashioned type of arranged marriage and then what had morphed into this slightly, this more of an introduction, which they were calling assisted marriage when I was there. And I saw them to be, those ones that were successful were genuinely happy. And I started to get interested in this idea of simmer then boil, walking into love instead of falling into love. You need a companion, not a clique. All of those ideas were sort of fermented there. And then I came back to London and I was, in my 30s. And a lot of my friends were then looking to kind of settle down and have babies and get married and whatever. And we used to have this joke between us, which was, okay, so I've been busy arranging marriages for the last 10 years. If your parents were to choose a partner for you, who might they have chosen and would it work? And that was the sort of seed for the idea for the film.
A physical process, right? What kind of, did you sit down for a long time? Are you very disciplined? How did that work? Because it's a big undertaking.
Yes, it is. Thank you for pointing that out.
Well, I'm a writer myself.
Okay, so you know.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Partly why I'm interested in that process as well.
It's hard as nails. I had produced quite a lot of. So in my day job, I produced documentaries and TV, and I've done lots of producing. And in my spare time, I was trying to write the script. I mean, I'm not lying when I say it took 10 years. It took 10 years, and very luckily for me, I had the most incredible mentor. So Ol Parker, who wrote Mamma Mia and wrote Ticket to Paris, he's wrote lots of things, and he was also directed. And he helped me and sort of pretty much very, very generously taught me how to write a script, and would read. I mean, I can't bear to think about how bad the early drafts must have been and what he had to endure reading them. But he used to send back his notes, and the main note used to be do better. No, he was really enthusiastic, because he did say from the very beginning, there is definitely something there that is, worth pursuing. But it did take me a really long time.
The Lily James character, how much is that you and?
Well, I mean, she's not really, in the sense that when I met my ex-husband, I was in my second year of university. I was 21 when I went to Pakistan. you know, she's a girl in her 30s who's got an established career, and you know, but I think what I realised from writing a script, and you'll know this, is that you end up kind of not just relating to the character that is your gender or that is, so you actually start relating to all the characters. So for me, like, I definitely internally feel that I, you know, still struggle with the balance between kind of duty and autonomy, responsibility, but also individualism. And, you know, those things, you know, that Kaz struggles with in particular, I also really relate to. And even though, you know, he's a different ethnicity to me, he's a different gender, he's a different, you know, so I would say that every single character or anecdote, and actually even some of the lines, were directly taken from people that I'd met along the way. Like, I would say that my ex-husband's Khala is kind of inspired the Nani Jan character.
It's a very multicultural place.
There's bits of people in everything, but there's no one where I go like, that is that person. It's just elements of.
Was it very important for you to write something that was culturally aware, that you wanted to cover mixed faith? Was that important in the writing of this?
Well, it's what I'd experienced. So there were things that I had particularly set out to look at in the film. And one was this concept of, like, you know, somewhere between so much choice in the dating world.
Oh, is that Grindr? Is there anyone we should meet? No.
And arguably too little choice in the worlds of old-fashioned arranged marriages.
How do you feel about possibly moving to London?
She's fine with it.
And, you know, what the balance is to find kind of what's the best balance and what's the best middle ground. But also, I mean, even things like, I really... the Kath character, for example, who says some things that are kind of quite problematic, but she also really reveres and loves her neighbours.
I'm very lucky to have them as neighbours. Actually, they've become like family to me since your father left for that teenage whore.
She's 35.
And for me, it was kind of important because I think it's really easy to discern racism, for example, when it's overt. We all can recognise that. We know what that is. But there's also something different about intentions. One of the loveliest things that I got from Pakistan was the concept of niyat, you know, intention, and judging things on intention. And I think it's possible to be both full of love and get things wrong, and sometimes the two aren't mutually exclusive. And I think we live in quite an unforgiving world where you're sort of, you know, that's not to say that that's always the case. But with this particular character, I felt as though I know that person who's kind of struggling with the language and struggling with the, you know, and who does have some outdated ideas and needs to be taught and shown rather than banged over the head, you know?
What's your favourite part of the movie?
I like the party scene in Lahore.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I kind of wanted to show a different Pakistan. So I feel as though Pakistan, well, actually, my friends in Pakistan were always complaining about how Pakistan and Pakistanis were viewed in like things like Homeland and Zero Dark 30. They was like, what the hell? We're always terrorists. We're always fanatics. We're a bit backwards. Like, can we just... And so was Pakistan seen in the same light. And my experience of Pakistan, outside of the hell of politics, was of a very hospitable, fun, joyous, colourful place where people have an amazing sense of humour and a lot of fun. And so I wanted to bring that bit of Pakistan into the rom-com version. I don't think we've really had a rom-com about Pakistan before because it sort of seems like an oxymoron, but it shouldn't.
I think you've done it. And hopefully you want to write more?
Yeah.
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 You started something?
I'm working on something.
Will it be similar kind of area or something completely different?
No, actually not. Quite different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now the party starts. I used to think that I was scared of being with the wrong person, but now I realise that I'm scared of being with the right person.